Yep.
Welcome back. Second time to, hanging out with Temi. On hanging out with Temi, my name is Temi Ajayi, and I've got the ladies with me. Miss Greatness. What a
Hi.
day! What a
How
day!
are you?
Oh, come see, come sir. But I'm holding on.
That's very good. That's
Yourself?
very. I'm doing well as well. Thank you very much. I'm absolutely doing well. The week
Fantastic.
was very short. I can't keep track.
I know. You didn't even know today was Friday. That's how quickly it was going.
Exactly.
Heidi, how are you doing?
I'm really good. I've had a busy week as usual, and just so much is happening. And yeah, it's just so much is happening. Unlike last weekend, I was really, really, really sick. I had a really bad headache, and for the first time I ever had anyone pray on me, and Tammy prayed on me, and the headache just disappeared. And I don't know what she did, and I don't know how she did it. And all I know is that I enjoyed the rest of the night without a headache, and that was the first night in so long with really bad headaches.
Wow.
It's just amazing, this power of prayer, this power of, I was worried, like, where did the headache go? Where did she take it? She put her hand where my headache was, just right here, and then she prayed, and that's all. And I was thinking, what is this? Where is this power from? How is she doing that? Just with the power of prayer. My goodness. Beautiful gift. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for praying for me. And
Thank you.
thank you for you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. I think when your spirit connects together and we surrender, as you often say, we just release it to God and you just calm down and you let it go. People are nothing. It's just the power of God that does all the
That's
magic.
right.
So we thank
That's
God for
right.
that.
Amen.
But
Yeah.
people, if you're watching us for the first time, we say welcome. We know most people are really interested in the topic that we're going to discuss today. And we're sorry about the hiccups that has happened before. It hasn't happened for a long, long time. We don't know why. I think that they want us to take this vaccine. Maybe that's why. But anyway, we're back. We're back on the show. And if you're returning, thank you. We normally do this on Saturdays and at 6 o'clock, but we try to make this possible today because of Dr. Christy, who is our special guest that is coming on the show today. Actually, she's in Texas and her time is 1 a.m. Can you believe it? 1 a.m. And they often say, the wise people said, if you want to get anything done, give it to the busy people. They're going to get it done. They smart, they prioritize, they move things around to make things happen. And that's
Yeah.
what Dr. Chris has done for us today. I'm not going to waste a lot of time today because we really want to get something out of Dr. Christie. And I think she's around the corner. We're going to let her in. Just hold on 1 second. There she goes.
Hello.
So, Christy, welcome on the show.
Thank you. How are you?
We're doing good. We're waiting on you. I don't know about the
I'm
ladies.
here.
I've got questions, and my heart is somewhere I need to get from the experts. So, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. At least I came
Ladies,
early today.
yeah, you did. We're the one that was going, everywhere, but it's been fixed today. It's 1 o'clock in Texas.
1:30, yeah.
1:30. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for coming, ladies. You want to
Okay.
welcome Dr. Christy for us?
Hello. Thank you so much for doing this,
Hi,
and thank you so
Liz.
much for staying, up all night for us. This is
Hi.
amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Really
I
appreciate
managed to get a little nap when I came back from work.
That's
Really very
fantastic.
fresh.
Yeah,
Thank
Thank
she's
you
you.
very,
How are you
very much.
ladies doing?
it. Good. Thank
we're
you.
doing all right.
Good, good, good. I'm glad to be here, to be back here.
Fantastic, welcome. But
You're
what we
welcome.
do traditionally, we will play our music for you so you can chill down because we got so much to ask you today. So we're just gonna go on a quick break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome on the show again. We've got Dr. Christy Ebushinam. I actually like your name, actually, Ebushinam.
You're one of the few people who can say it right.
I like the name. I like the name. You are an MD, a primary medicine specialist for so many years, two
Mm-hmm.
decades now. And I went through your platform, your profile, and I saw all your clients, your patients, they're giving you 5 out of 5 ratings. So you're doing so well in Mansfield. Good.
Well, not everybody is happy, but we try.
Yeah. I can imagine. But Dr. Christy would like you to just chill out today and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and I know you do spa, hydrodermatologist, and epidemiologist. You got so much profile that more than I can actually spell out. So please introduce yourself to us.
Okay, I'm Christia Bridgenham. I'm an MD. I went to school, medical school at University of Nigeria in Nsukka, and graduated with a degree. What we call our MD degree in Nigeria is MBBS, Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. And I practiced for a while in Lagos, and then I came over to the US in 1997. And of course, when you come over, you kind of start all over again. So I did my resident. First of all, I decided to get a master's in public health degree because I wanted to be an epidemiologist. It's something I've always wanted to do in med school, but I never got the time. So while I was having my babies, I took the time to go to school. And so I got my master's in public health and epidemiology, and I got it like May 2002, and I started my residency in family medicine in June. So it was pretty intense, and that was after I had my fourth baby girl, 6 months after I had my last baby. And so I finished my residency in 2005, and I started working with Parkland Hospital as a lead physician. And I worked there for till 2010. And I decided I'd had enough, and I opened my own practice. And I've been doing that since then. So I'm a family physician. I have a full-fledged primary care clinic. I have 2 locations in Texas. And I also have a med spa because it's something I really, really like to do. So a med spa, we don't do surgery. We do laser treatments, we do body contouring, we do laser hair removals, and we do facials, and we do everything. And we also have a weight loss program. So we do a lot of stuff. So we're not typical primary care clinic.
Fantastic. I can't wait to get myself to your clinic and get
Honestly,
pampered. Ladies,
honestly,
are you coming?
Anytime.
I'm in line for that.
I know.
Anytime. We got a brand new FDA approved machine that I'm very excited about. It's called UltraSlim device. Oh my God, it does a lot.
Wow.
I
I
just
see.
did a treatment on a lady with that. So it usually guarantees you that losing 1.2 liters of fat in a 32-minute treatment. So this lady lost 1.3 liters, which is about 3.4 pounds of fat.
What?
And she lost about 3 inches in 32 minutes. So she was beside herself with joy. And you can do that treatment once a week. So I'm excited about that.
Let the
We're
COVID go.
excited about that. We're
Let
very
the
excited about
COVID,
that.
I'm gonna be
let
my
this
own
COVID
business.
go.
Yeah.
Everyone, if you're watching me and you see me next year, I've lost the inches, you know where I've been, all right? I'm in the hands of this special.
Yeah, we're excited about technology in this age. It's a good time to be alive. Mhm.
That's right.
It's a good time to be alive. But,
It is.
with the epidemiology thing, I'm fascinated. I think we're talking to the specialist. I know we've brought you before to talk to us about COVID, and people might be asking, why are we really holding on tight on this COVID? I think it's reasonable to be. And the
Mhm.
past over 100 years, there hasn't been any singular event that has held the whole country at the same time into
Yep.
this sort of a suspense that the whole world shut down. So I think it's reasonable for everybody to be concerned about
Yep.
the COVID.
Mhm.
And COVID is there again, there's a vaccine. So we're not even getting out of the COVID, we're getting again into the vaccine, which
Hmm.
it just compounds the concerns and the agitation of the people, anxiety and all that. But I don't know. I want to go back to the COVID, Christian, because I know that I've seen people, I heard people that they've had COVID-19, and then they said the after effect of the COVID-19 is actually massive as well, like respiratory depression and all that. But no
Yeah.
one was talking about the after effect of the COVID. I was wondering when you have COVID, people run away from you as if you've got, uh, leprosy. So I was
Mhm.
wondering, why are people really concerned? Because it's a COVID and then you get treatment and you get better. But apparently there is a serious after effect of the COVID. But no one is actually, you have to go and be finding all these, literatures to get this information. Why aren't they be clear so that we will even be more extra careful if we know the after effect? Because we think it's like it's COVID, it's kind of like flu, you get treated and you get better,
Yeah.
but you might not get better. So tell us about the after effect and possible effect of this COVID-19 to start with, please.
So the first thing is that if anybody tells you they know everything about COVID, they're lying. I don't care how smart or how specialized. Everybody, we're just making it up as we go. Okay. So that's the point. When we were in the midst of the COVID, trying to keep people alive, we didn't have any idea what it did because we didn't have cases who had survived for a while to study that. So we were kind of in the, what do you say, in the acute mood. Let's get people to live. Let's get people to survive. And if you also notice, they just paid attention to people that were in the hospital. Nobody, us primary care physicians, up till today, there is no treatment, documented treatment plan provided for outpatient doctors to take care of the patient. And we take care of most of at least 80% of people that get COVID. The people that end up in the hospitals are the ones that are actually, they're paying attention, finding medication to treat. There is no recommended treatment right now for me as a doctor when a patient shows up with COVID, which I see a lot of, what to do. So we make up our own treatment. And so anybody telling you, oh, this is what to do, this is what not to do, everybody's making it up as we go, even Dr. Fauci. So, so after effects, we're just starting to realize that. So that's gonna be the talk of 2021 and 2022. Now that we have a vaccine and people are not dying like they used to die before, we can address it. And actually, even people that had mild COVID, young people that they said, oh, they're COVID, they don't have any symptoms, they tend to even have more of the after effects more than other people. So these include like fatigue, just being tired all the time, and difficulty for people that have been in the hospital. They have problem recovering, getting their normal breathing pattern back. Chronic cough. Some people have like all sorts of things. Everything falls into this stratum. I've had people that have chronic headaches. They just keep getting headaches. Some people who are asthmatic, after they get COVID, they just get recurrent asthma attacks, just exacerbation all the time.
Wow.
And some
See?
people get tachycardia, like their heart rate is very fast, some people very low. So it affects everything from head to toe. We're having to refer them to cardiologists, doing EKGs, chest pains. And these are young people, not necessarily older people. And so COVID can affect anybody and everybody, and it can affect any organ. Everybody. The scariest thing about COVID is that the way it affects you is not the way it affects me. Everybody has a different manifestation. So basically, you're looking at a wide spectrum. It could be anything. Yeah.
All
And
right.
then depression. Depression is a big one. Mental status. It causes a lot of, and I think it's part of and the anxiety of just being diagnosed with COVID and not knowing what may happen. I think is also what mental health is a very strong part of the post-COVID management for us. And so
I'm
those
not,
are the things that we're having to deal with. I'm writing more depression medication than I ever did
I'm not
since I
surprised
started
because
practicing. Yeah.
I'm not surprised because some of us that haven't got COVID were even really more anxious than ever, if not
Yeah,
for prayer and for support and everything. I can
exactly.
imagine if you now have it, how that is
Yeah.
going to affect you. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
question
last
on
year,
COVID.
yes. Last year, I had to adapt my practice to actually almost becoming a counselor because all my older patients were stuck at home. And these people live alone and they were really scared to death. Their biggest problem was anxiety. And they would call every day. They needed to talk to me every day, talk to the clinic. That was the only outward contact they had. So a lot of our elderly patients were really, really hit by, mental issues. And we had to call them every day, talk to them. So that became a big part of our practice because we're basically practicing telemedicine. Mhm.
Oh, yeah, true. That's even
You have to
worse.
learn that counseling, whether you like it or not. Just pray and tell God to tell you what to say. Yeah.
Ladies, have you any question about COVID before we go to the next, to our actual point?
I think
Um,
let's move. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, in terms of how you mentioned, Christy, that some people are actually affected different. Like we're all affected differently. Have you noticed that people who have pre-existing conditions that are already sick with a specific ailment or disease, they are actually more susceptible to be actually for the COVID, or does it not really matter? Like immunosuppressant
Oh.
patients and so on.
Oh, they are very high risk. So most
Very
people, they are very high risk for death and developing severe COVID. Like I mentioned, if somebody has asthma and they get COVID, their life is kind of hanging up there. But you know what I found? I had 80-year-olds with diabetes, with high blood pressure, we name it. They got COVID, they recovered. They didn't go to the hospital. We managed them as outpatient, no problem. I have young people, you say, okay, they're fine. You don't need to worry. Boom, they're in the hospital and they're struggling for their life. They can't breathe. They go on stuff. But the chances of somebody with comorbidities ending up on ventilator or dying is higher than somebody who is healthy. But like I said, it's still unpredictable. That's what's scary about the illness. All my friends that are doctors that got, I mean, part of some of the people we lost, they had no health problems. I mean, especially healthcare workers, they were very healthy. People that worked out in the gym, they did everything, they were fit. Boom, they got it, and you would think, oh, they're not even gonna do it. Nothing is gonna happen, and then boom, then ICU, boom, they're on in coma, and boom, it's death, or they got a stroke. So it's so unpredictable and scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you.
Wow.
And for the ones that were calling you, in terms of counseling, what was your number one advice that you were giving?
So most of these patients, they just wanted to talk to somebody. There wasn't anything specific. Just the same questions we're discussing is what they want to talk to you about. Oh, if I get this, am I gonna die? I'm like, okay, we're gonna try not to be morbid. We're gonna try to stay positive, right? But the
Right.
key is how do you prevent yourself from getting it? So most of our counseling was stay home, wear your mask, don't go out unless you have to. These are the services available to help you get your groceries, help you. If you need some help with this, you can call these numbers. So those were really the kind of things that needed. And then some of them that would be very anxious and have panic attacks, you have to send medications to help them. And so it was anything. If they get a little cough, they get worried, they call you, and then you have to calm them down, and then you have to talk them through it and answer. They just wanted somebody to talk to them. If you're elderly and you're living at home by yourself, you can't go out, and they watch the news, all they see is bad news. So, yeah.
And in comparison, has the phone calls reduced?
Since, well, yeah, a lot.
Interesting.
Last year we basically practiced on the phone, because when having patients come in, this year, patients want to come in. They don't want to be. You would think because they are home, it's very convenient for them to do telemedicine. They don't want to do. They want to come in. They want to, even when they are coughing. I'm like, no, I can't have you in. You're still sick. Oh, I'm feeling bad. I'm like, no, you gotta wait. So they want to come in now. When it started, people were excited. Oh, we can just see the doctor on our bed. I can just you call them and they'll be laying on their bed. The doctor see my house. This is my bedroom. This is. After a couple of months, they wanted to come out. Like, I want to come to the office. I don't mind waiting. Yeah, so it has it has reduced the calls because they're coming in. They will just get in their cars and come and knock on the door, because we still keep the doors locked. We have to put them through some questionnaires to make sure they're not sick.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Christie. I know one of your core area is disease prevention and education, and that's what you're doing for us today, educating us. And thank you so much. We need to now ask you the big question of the vaccination.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
We know, but the question is this your COVID-19 vaccination really? What is it? Preventative? Is it curing? Is it working? What is it? Because there's a lot of conflicting stories about this.
Vaccines are always for prevention. They don't cure. So they prevent you from getting it. If you get a vaccine and you do get you may still get the disease, but it will be mitigated. That means it's not going to be as serious or severe as it would have been if you did not have a vaccine. What a vaccine is like, think about it like a preparation for your body to be able to fight disease. Like, so how you meet somebody new or something new, and you got, oh my God, you don't know what to expect, right? And so you're not prepared. When you get a vaccine, when you meet this and it's not a new thing, like, I'm ready for you to push what you can. So you're able to fight, right? So that's really what the vaccine does. It helps you to make antibodies. And so when you make the antibodies against this virus, then the virus has a fight on its hands when it tries to attack you. So it just helps to give your body that ability to resist the disease. Even if you get exposed to, let's say, a very, like now we're having variants, right? Maybe a mutant gene, a mutant virus, or one that is really resistant, has been through it all and is not resistant. It also has more fight on its hand than it will have what we call a naive body, because I have something to fight with, and you have to overcome my immune system now to be able to make me sick. By the time we finish having the fight, the virus is tired, I'm tired, so I might succumb, but I won't be that sick because the virus is too tired to make me die, like stuff like that. So that's the kind of simple principle it is. I know there was a lot of story about the vaccine, DNA, and stuff like that. It was shocking because we've had vaccines all along, and this one was a new, I don't know what to call it, QAnon and everybody. But vaccines this one, they said it was too fast. It wasn't fast. We've had this mRNA technology for a long time, but because it was actually, I think, in lines of the flu, they wanted to use it for flu, but because we already had a lot of flu vaccines, nobody wanted to drop the money for it, because they wouldn't recover their deposit or their input, or the money that they put in it. So it's all about the dollar sign. It's all about money. So why would I bring a new technology that costs a lot more money and make a vaccine that's already existing, that there are already different types of it? So this was the first opportunity to make use of this technology that has been around for at least 10 years. Yeah.
But wow. Well, I will go on because
That's fact I didn't know. So does that mean that this mRNA technology has been around already?
Yes, it was actually developed. They wanted to do flu, they wanted to do measles, and a lot of other ones. But see, because we've had vaccines for those things already, nobody wants to invest in it, right? Because
Yeah.
this company spent a lot of money developing these things. So if
Mm.
I don't want to have a competition when I develop something and a cheaper version is there, and I put so much money, you won't get a good return on your money. So it's always about that. So this technology has been around. That's why they were able to use it right away. Nobody's that smart. We can't make that thing overnight like they did. Uh, but
Yeah.
so it wasn't a new technology, but it is the first time it's being used, and that's why they were able to get it done so quickly. Yeah.
Okay. Mm. All right.
But Christian, this vaccine,
Mm,
in the past they always introduce live virus into vaccine.
yeah.
This is synthetic. So what is why is this different? So that means that virus, the vaccine cannot mutate or whatever and cannot prevent, because it's actually a synthetic, it's not real live virus. That's the
No.
thing. That is like
Okay. No. So actually, most of the vaccines we have, I personally would not take a live virus vaccine. So most of the vaccines that we had that were live virus vaccines are going away. We have very few live virus vaccines now. You know why? Because they make people sick. And if you take a live virus vaccine, you're likely to get the illness and then build the immunity like somebody that got the disease. So it's
yeah.
almost like a natural immunity which you would get by getting the disease. So remember, they developed one live virus for the flu, the one that is spread in your nose, and they had to stop it because people with decreased immune system, like cancer patients on chemo, and some people with some other immune disorders, when they get that, is as bad as getting the disease for them. So most of our viruses now, call them tetanus, measles, everything, are killed virus. We don't use live virus. The only few live, like the typhoid has live virus, which is in the oral form, but it also has a killed virus, which is in the one you inject. So most of them with live virus, they've already developed alternative killed virus vaccines for them. And again, it's not synthetic. mRNA is not synthetic. It's a part of the virus that is taken out. So it's not like they manufactured plastic or something. It's just that instead of giving you the whole virus, they take a portion of the capsule or of the RNA, which is the one that replicates, and put it in you. Therefore, it's not likely to make you get the disease, but it introduces enough of the genome of the virus for you to get antibodies against the virus. Does that make sense? So instead of me just shooting you with a cannonball, I would just take a little bit of the scrapings of the cannonball and shoot you with it. And you can still get the same impact, but without being killed or something like that. Yeah.
Liz.
I want to find out. I've been receiving messages from my GP for my flu vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering. We are at a place where we equally have to go for the what is it, coronavirus vaccine. So I was wondering, can we take both at the same time, or should I take one of the two?
So I will not give both at the same time. I don't like giving because the coronavirus vaccine is new. You've never received it, right? So you want to know if you have a reaction, what exactly is causing it, right?
Exactly.
So I got my flu shot in November, for example. And I got it in October, and then I got my uh, COVID-19 vaccine in January. So you shouldn't get them on the same day. I wouldn't, because I want to know if something is happening, what is causing it, and is there going to be a build-up reaction? So with the old vaccines that we already know how they work with kids, you can give 3, 4 vaccines at a time. We've been doing it for years. Nothing new. For me, even when I prescribe medication for my patients, I don't give my patient 2 new medications or 3 new medications on the same day. I give them, I say, I'm going to start you with this one, allow your body get used to it. I will introduce the other one next week. Therefore, if you start reacting, I know which one is causing it, right? So the same principle. Yeah, I wouldn't take two of them on the same day. Plus, I think the impact of, I mean, for me, the impact of the COVID is that is enough for one day.
So, Chris, do you believe in this thrombosis and thrombocytopenia syndrome that is happening, that is broken out in Europe and is related to this vaccine? What do
Mhm.
you make of that?
So there are different types. Okay, so I got the Moderna. In America, in the US, we have Pfizer, we have Moderna, and now we have Johnson and Johnson. Um, we haven't had any real cases of those. So the problem in Europe was with AstraZeneca, which is what you guys use over there. And I believe they're researching it and they say, okay, maybe it's not much, but there are cases of it. They know there are some reported cases. But what they're saying that it was an error in the dosing. It was so if I'm supposed to take a little drop of something and you give me like 10 drops, that might be. So I think there was an error in the initially. That's what they're saying now in the dosing, in how much was given. And they found that the people who got less actually had less problems and got more immunity. So it was cutting the dose back, pushing it back a little bit. And we don't know, so it's still an ongoing issue, right? But they said it wasn't enough for them to withdraw the vaccine. But I can tell you, I would have a hard time, uh, after that reaction. It's gonna be difficult if it was in the US to convince people to get it. But we haven't had any problems with the ones that we have here. Mm. So it was just the AstraZeneca. It was just the AstraZeneca that was having that problem, and that's the one they use in Europe. I mean, we haven't used it in the US. It's not here.
At all.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. We're going to go on a quick break.
Not to the best of my knowledge.
I'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome again on Hanging Out with Temi. We've got Dr. Christy Eguchinam from Mansfield, Texas, in the state, with us
Yep.
today, educating us on COVID and vaccinations and what to do about it. So thank you so much, Dr. Christy. I like what
You're
you
welcome.
said, that you're not using our AstraZeneca in Australia, in the US. And I think I really just want to emphasize the fact that people that are agitated, it's valid to be agitated. They were kind of being used as a guinea pig. I'm not against vaccination, but
Mm.
I'm just worried that in history, what we've always had, which you've explained to us about the technology that is okay now, and there's they've been preparing something for another strain or another virus, which is now concluded to tackle
Mm.
COVID-19. But we weren't getting this information, so that's why we're worried. And also, they might have given us more doses than we needed, and that could have a long-term effect on us, even worse than the actual COVID. And also, that Australia, some of us have taken that first dose of Astra. And now the Australian Technical Group Advisory Body, they said, if you've taken the first dose of AstraZeneca, if there's no negative effect, then you can take the second one. They're not even saying second one of what dose, which you just mentioned to us now. And they said, if you've taken the first Astra and you have an adverse effect, we don't even know what they're going to take next. Are they going to give us Pfizer to top it up as the second dose? So we have the first as Astra, the second as, what are we going to have? This is really confusing. I've got a lot of people that have taken the Astra. What's their situation now?
Well, the recommendation is to take the same vaccine that you got the first dose from, because they're all different. in their formulations. So the advice is, if you got the first dose of Pfizer, you want to get a second dose of Pfizer. If you got the first dose of Moderna, you get a second dose of Moderna. Johnson and Johnson is only one dose, so which is woohoo. So that's the one that people are looking for, and is not as available. So I'm hoping they'll make more, especially for the young people, because they're the ones that are not likely to come back for their second dose. One is enough for them. One of my sons actually just got his Johnson and Johnson one dose today, so I'm happy. But we're still looking. It's just they're not able to produce enough. The demand is so high for that. So if you got the first dose of AstraZeneca, it's most likely you're gonna get a second dose of the same AstraZeneca. Now, if you had an adverse, all these things, you can have adverse reaction to any vaccine, as long as it's not a life-threatening reaction, or those kind of like thrombocytopenia or bleeding and stuff like that, which they are denying that it wasn't caused by their vaccine. But hey, the jury is still out. But I think that's just, I don't think they will give you a different one. It doesn't make sense to do that. It depends on what kind of adverse reaction. If somebody has like a life-threatening adverse reaction, I think they should just take a break from from vaccine, and kind of reevaluate taking the same vaccine a second time. Mm.
I want to find out, for how long is the vaccine valid? Is it like every other vaccine that you have to take like once a year or so?
Mhm. So we're still finding out that, like I said, we're making it up as we go. So I mean, we know that flu, we take every year. Tetanus we
That's
take
right.
every 10 years. Meningococcal maybe 5 years. So every vaccine is different. Some you just take one for lifetime. So right now, what we know is the earliest people that got this vaccine, they've crossed 9 months. I mean, the people in the trials, right? So I think they're getting close to one with the past 6 months. And at 6 months, the research shows that the immunity is still very strong, and it's still increasing. So we're gonna see at 1 year, the first people that got it, measuring the antibodies, and then 2 years. I think it's gonna take at least another year before we're able to know how long we're gonna keep this we get the vaccine. Right now, they're just trying to get everybody vaccinated so we can have a herd immunity. I know herd. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just laughing. Everybody
No, I was
vaccinated.
saying that herd immunity also has is also gonna add to it. What we know is that the people that actually got the disease, the natural immunity, most of them, I heard, lost their immunity before 6 months from testing. So the vaccine seems to be doing better, yeah, than that. So that's why those that got the disease are also advised to get their shots too. Mm.
I guess the issue I have is more peculiar to us in Australia, because I know my friend is being to the GP or the
Mm.
immunization center to get her immunization, and she was told that they're not sure of what you get. Is that the same in the US? They're not sure until you enter into the clinic and about to inject you that they will determine what you're getting. What's that?
That happened initially in the US. Now, when you make an appointment, you're able to tell. Like my son knew he was gonna get Johnson, because there's a website now here that you can go. If you pick a location, they will tell you what they have available. Yeah, so he knew he was gonna get Johnson and Johnson, and my other son was booked to get Pfizer. I think he chickened out because he's looking for Johnson and Johnson. So if he finds it, he could go get it. But yeah, you can tell now. But at the beginning, when we healthcare workers got it, we didn't know. Because it was either Pfizer or Moderna, and they were both two injections. There was no difference as much. So you just go and they'll tell you what they have and you get it. Yeah.
One of
But
my friends.
now everybody can. Mhm.
Sorry, I was saying to the ladies before you came on that I got a text message from a friend of mine that was
Mm.
meant to go and get his vaccination today, and then they said it was booked for two places, and both places cancelled and said we're pausing or suspending the giving of AstraZeneca. That's what they said. So they
Mm.
said to him, we would, until further notice, we will let you know when to come in.
Yeah. I know
So
that some European countries have cancelled, they've stopped using AstraZeneca because they are not convinced or they're still doing their research. So I'm not sure what the status of that is. We don't have that issue here because we don't use AstraZeneca.
it sounds as if America has got it right. And
Well,
what do you
I don't
reckon?
know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I want to ask, in America, is it compulsory to take the vaccine or is it voluntary?
It's very voluntary. But
Oh,
I know what is coming. I tell my patients, I say, first of all, really, the only hope right now uh, for COVID-19 is to get the vaccine, right? Because I can tell you myself as a healthcare worker, before I got the vaccine, I was scared to, I mean, yeah, you can pray. I was scared to death because, anything that you breathe in the air is very difficult to control or prevent. And now we're finding out that it is true. Remember when this thing started initially, they told us, oh yeah, it's just by touching, washing hands and using hand sanitizers. Now we come to find out. CDC just changed, reversed that this week or last week, that those things don't make a difference. It's the mask and the social distancing because it's airborne. But remember, I think whenever they don't have enough of mask or something, they send us on this wild goose chase. I just think, well, everybody has to use their common sense. And I remember start thinking to myself, I'm like, this is like the flu, kind of. It's the same kind of principle. Yeah, you can wash your hands. It helps so that you don't infect yourself and touch stuff. But the thing is airborne. It has to be airborne. Remember, initially they told us it wasn't really significantly airborne. That didn't make sense. And then finally they came out and said, oh, mask, mask, mask. And then we started playing politics with that. But the only thing that can really, really make a difference is wearing masks. As long as you can make other people wear masks, that's gonna be a problem. So I think the only way to overcome this is the vaccination. I know, for example, in my clinic, the freedom we really have since people have become vaccinated to be able to interact again, to be able to not treat your patients like they have leprosy and stuff like that. It makes a lot of difference. Yeah.
I've got a follow-up question to that. Say I volunteered not to take the vaccine,
Mm.
and I am at a sick bed where I probably need a blood. Is it infusion? Is that how you call it?
Blood infusion.
Yeah, and the only blood that is available is from somebody who had the vaccine. Um,
Who
does
had the
it?
vaccine?
Yeah. Does
We
it
are
put
lucky
me at
then.
that place where I need to choose whether I want that blood or not?
I don't think that honestly. I will consider you lucky because remember now how we treat COVID. If you get COVID,
Yeah.
life-threatening COVID, they get plasma from people who have recovered from COVID. That's pretty much the same as people who got vaccines because what they have is antibodies, and people who have vaccines are antibodies. So if most people in the ICU on their deathbed, what has changed their lives is getting plasma
Okay.
from people that recovered from COVID. And at
Okay.
that time, we didn't have vaccinated people. So me with the vaccine, I'm like somebody who had COVID. I have antibodies. So if you're dying and I donate blood to you and they give you my plasma, it will save your life. So that's the thing.
That's
So
Okay.
I wouldn't want you to choose the wrong one because if you have COVID, well, now as long as you're not dealing with COVID, but seriously, the most important thing for COVID is what we're doing now is vaccination because even for treatment of people in ICU, those people that are intubated, is a plasma. They get plasma from people who recovered. And that's what we've been doing, treatment with the convalescent plasma. And we use that for a lot of diseases. And there's nothing better than that, to help somebody to pick up. So people that recovered from COVID have been saving lives. And now we have it in people who became vaccinated. And so it's really the antibodies that you're looking for. So it's the same principle for vaccination. That's why we vaccinate. You can either get antibodies by suffering from the disease and or dying or not knowing if you're going to survive, or you can get antibodies by doing vaccine. Those are the only two ways to get the immunity we're looking for. Yeah.
Good.
Interesting. I want to be an devil's advocate. There's this saying that there are some country. Let me start from there that actually they buy their individual buys their own vaccine. Like in
Really?
Malaysia, you have to pay to get even your COVID tests done. So that
Mm.
means it's not the whole country that is going to be able to get vaccination, because if they don't have the money, they will not get it. So are
Yeah.
we saying they're at risk?
You mean who is at risk? Those countries?
That those countries, and I'm wondering, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
Nigeria as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. That's what I have in mind. So right now, God is so faithful because I don't think they got hit by COVID the way the Western world did, because there'll be nobody left. I mean, what
that's
we have to, the kind of treatment we have to give in the hospitals and how much it costs. Yeah, they're not, maybe 1% of Nigerians can afford it. Like,
Yeah.
even if they can afford it, would they find it? And even if they
Mhm.
find it, would they have people with the kind of ability to administer them and give it right? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think this is a situation where you say that God just kind of will not allow you to be tempted beyond your strength.
Ah.
I think that's how I view it, right? Because it would just exterminate Africa if it went to Africa the way it went here. So that's one. And so, but the issue of vaccine, the third world countries have to really try to figure out. This is where money is power. So, see, the Western world, they're spending trillions of dollars in vaccinating people. In America, the vaccination is free. You know how many we are, and it's free, right? They can't ask you, you cannot not get the vaccine because you don't have the money.
Mhm.
So think about that. We can do that. If you get the vaccine in Nigeria, the richest 1% will get it, you
Mhm.
know, and then the poor people cannot get it. So it's kind of, I think about it every day. I couldn't tell you the solution to that, but God help us. Luckily or thankfully, it's not ravaging Africa like it did here. And we're not sure why. People are saying maybe the climate. But I think one of the best things countries like Nigeria did was shut down early, shut down travel to and fro early, because that really helped. And it was kind of what also helped them with Ebola. But for some reason, I think Africans, maybe because they're exposed to a lot of infections, and this is just my thinking, they have a lot of antibodies that fight things. So I think they have more resistance to infection. Because remember, when uh, we here go to Nigeria, we have to take malaria prophylaxis. We have to take medication to prevent malaria while you're there, because malaria will kill you if you get it. Meanwhile, the people there get malaria every day and they don't die. And like it's not a big deal. I remember one of my friends traveled to Nigeria. They came back, her son got it, and the boy died. Just malaria, right?
Wow.
Because first of all, one, they won't recognize that illness here.
Yeah.
They will,
Yeah.
my friend was sick. They even quarantined her like she had some terrible infectious disease and nobody knew what was going on. And she had called me and I called the
Mm.
doctor that was treating her and said, take her blood, look under the microscope. You see this, it's malaria, give her this and she'll go. Within 2 days, she was out of the hospital.
Wow.
But if not, they're not used to it, so they don't know how to treat it. And
It's
just like people get meningitis. So I think in Africa we get a lot of infections. If it's here, if you get cancer, they get on it, but they're not as used to infection as people over there. And so that's the edge, I think, also the antibodies. That's my theory. And also maybe the warm weather helped, but I don't know. But I'm glad it didn't hit Africa the way it hit the Western world, because nobody will be left.
I'm glad it didn't hit Africa.
I
It's
know.
it's
So,
basically free here. It's the first thing that even international students are able to get free here. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're in Australia. This is the
yep.
free. Everybody get this for free. I wonder, but
But
Doctor.
Africa should start thinking, because I believe India made their own vaccine. I'm not sure why we can't we can do that. But we should at least it is very expensive, but it's not like we can't afford it. But you know how things work, corruption and everything. But it's
Yeah.
very expensive to give it for free. But Nigeria is rich enough if there wasn't corruption and so many other things. And if you release that money, it will go into the pockets of just a few people, and they will not get the vaccine. So I'm not sure how you go about this one. So it's really hard.
It's really
And
hard.
Nigerians are educated. I'm sure if there is an effort, they can come up with a vaccine even there.
Oh, Nigerians are the smartest people in the world. I can tell you that.
Exactly.
They can develop this vaccine, but it's just like when I was in college, somebody made a car in my college and made an airplane in my college, but nobody funded them. And I'm sure those people died with their invention. So
Mm.
Nigeria has a very special problem. That's why most of us are outside.
Yeah.
You
And in our own
want to
time,
make something of your life. Yeah.
we pray in our own time things will get better. We're waiting for 2023. We're on,
Amen. But we're waiting for it. But I'm looking to see what is happening leading to that 2023. If there's gonna be any change, I haven't seen anything that says that there's gonna be something different. You know what I mean? Same old same is not gonna work.
there could, there could be
Yeah.
something cooking underneath that they're not ready to
That's my
expose.
prayer. That's my prayer. That's
We're
my
hoping so.
prayer, and we all have to be praying towards it because you would think that if it was in the Western world, you would think that by now, we're in 2021, we should know what the plans are, that we don't have the same old same happen in 2023 that happened in all the years before now. You know, I expected like things to be different and moving, and I am pushing on social media, but I don't know if the will is there. That's just what I'm not. I don't know if the will is there, even in Nigerians, to do it. You know, like when you get pushed against the wall, everybody has what I call an elastic limit. What is it gonna take for Nigerians to say, "I've had enough"? We
We'll
have had
get
enough.
we'll get there. I think it's the gun that they're pointing at us at the moment. It's the gun. So we need to get more people to create something to combat that gun. But Dr. Christy, we're gonna go on a quick break and we're gonna be right back to
Okay.
finish. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Dr. Christy Ibichinam, MD, specialist. No, what is the other one? The primary medicine.
MPH.
I like this primary medicine specialist. I love
Primary
that.
care. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, correct. The primary care health uh, medicine. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Christy. Be talking to us about the COVID-19, the effect of it, the after effect of it, the vaccinations, which one we have in Australia, which one we have in the US, which one is the guinea pig, and all that. But I must say, Dr. Christy, that after speaking with you, I don't know about Liz, are you having some sense of comfort? Because
Yeah, I do. I definitely have a sense of comfort, particularly thinking that, even if I don't volunteer to get the vaccine, but I am at a place where I need blood infusion. I am safe to take, blood from somebody who was vaccinated. That is really alleviating all the fears. The one question I have is, like back home, I've got parents that are beyond 80 years, and I just want to find out is taking the vaccine safe for somebody who is, beyond 80, 85 years?
Oh yeah, they're the ones that this vaccine was made for, right?
Okay.
That's why they were the first group of people that got it in the US. After the healthcare workers, we give to people 65 and over because they're the ones at the highest risk, right?
Yeah.
Then we started giving with people with chronic problems, and then the last group now is everybody, which means anybody 16 and over can get it. But the Johnson and Johnson, you have to be 18 and over to get that. But yeah, so they were the most important people to protect. Remember the nursing homes and the long-term care facilities, they were the ones that died a lot. And so
Yeah.
they were the first ones we vaccinated. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
The only group of people that are not yet getting it are children less than 16 years old, because they were not included in the trials and in the research, and we don't know how that's going to affect them.
Okay.
Mhm.
With the Pfizer that we have here and the AstraZeneca, you know
Mm.
how you said 16 and over, they recommended to take the Pfizer,
Yeah.
18 and over to take the AstraZeneca. And if this is the one that is causing the cerebral venous thrombosis, why are they giving people that are over 50 that have the tendency of actually develop blood clot because of the less activity, that they embark on? Why is
But
that?
but the blood clots that people are getting is not the same. So there are different kinds of blood clot, right? It's not the same as the ones you get from not being active. This is an inflammatory reaction. It's an inflammatory reaction created by something, a component, something in there in the vaccine. And it might just be, sometimes it might be a preservative, sometimes it might just be something
Oh,
they put in there to make it stable. It's not
okay.
necessarily the virus or the vaccine
Okay.
causing it, just like you do with food. But remember that it only happens to people who are susceptible to getting it. It didn't
Okay.
happen to everybody that got it. It was just a few people that got it. It's just that we don't know what it is in those people that made them susceptible to getting it. And that's the study that will be going on with. So because then in future we can say, hey, if you have this kind of tendency, don't get this vaccine, get this one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just like we found with eggs and flu shot, most of the flu shot was egg-based vaccine. And then some people started
Yes.
having reaction when they made it initially. And later on, they found it was allergy to egg, had nothing to do with the virus, right? So now,
Yeah.
if you're allergic to eggs, we wouldn't give you flu vaccine until recently when they started making the vaccines and finding ways to overcome that hypersensitivity. So I think that's what's going to happen with the AstraZeneca. It is definitely not the virus, because it's the same virus or the same components they used in the other vaccines. I think they have to figure out, it might be a preservative, and a lot of these vaccines come without preservative, because a lot of the problems, I mean, the older vaccines we had, like if you get the flu shot, like I always want the flu shot I carry in my clinic, I never get the ones with preservatives. You have a right to choose which one you give. I get the ones without preservatives. So some of them have preservatives, some don't have. And I think that's some kind of where we're going to graduate from here with COVID-19 vaccines. Right now, we just wanted something to work, and then we're gonna start streamlining and making it, fine. As these reactions come out, they're gonna start making it better. Just like Apple, when they usually make their first new phone, it usually has bugs and crazy stuff, and then over time they fix it, and then they put an S after it, like whatever 12S or 5S or whatever. And those are the ones that they fix the bugs. So we're in the stage of the first round. And so after this, we know, I think AstraZeneca is going to go back. That's the study that's probably going on right now, finding
Yeah.
out who is susceptible to this and who is not, and finding out who should not take this. What is it in this vaccine that's making this happen? And they might just find it's something that they use to stabilize it, or something, a preservative. It might be not likely the actual virus. Mhm.
That's true. That, in fact, why aren't the World Health WHO and getting people to be talking to us, people like you that speaks clear English that we can understand, and give us
They don't like people that speak clear English, because we're time bomb. We
they
can
want
say what
people
they
that
don't want
speak
us to say.
English.
Somebody is not gonna put somebody like me on TV and give me a script, because if I see the one I don't believe in, I'll jump it. So not everybody fits that spectrum, fits into that mold. So like, you have to fit into certain molds to do certain things. Yeah.
That's why we love you like that, Dr. Christie. I think you've got a couple of questions for you. Buying your own vaccine individually is quite risky. The preservation at the right temperature exactly might not be right there by making vaccine not so potent or effective. That is your friend Hope.
Hope. But see, that's true because but I don't even know why anybody will buy their vaccine because they have the money. I would just pay somebody to give it to me. If you buy it and take it, would they buy it and take it home? I'm not sure how that works though.
Because they said they buy everything, I was told today. And
It's even online, actually.
sorry?
It's even
Online?
online. Yeah, I,
Oh
I, I
no,
saw
no, no.
it
That would be
on
that's a
the,
scam. That's a
yeah,
scam. Because right
yeah.
now, for you to get the vaccine, I mean, in the US, the vaccine is so strictly counted. Look, for me, for example, my clinic, there are certain things that you have to prove to the state that you have. You have your digital login certificate for each refrigerator that carries the vaccine. You
That's
have
true.
to provide all that for you to be approved to carry the vaccine. And when they give you the vaccine, they count it. They know everyone. And for everybody you give, you report it to the state within 24 hours. So I'm not sure how that happens. If you open a vial and you don't finish it the same day, you have to discard it because you
Oh,
can't even
really?
store it. hmm So
Uh-oh.
I think they're just getting scammed. Anybody will be stupid to buy it online. I don't even know. It doesn't make sense.
I like that.
How are you gonna store it? Yeah, I think it's
And
ignorance. Yeah.
it is poor people. I don't know what they sell. Apart from the antibodies Africans have, I suspect the hot temperature is
The
an added.
climate. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we've
think
heard.
the climate is a big deal. Yeah. Hope
Apparently, a
said
vaccine has
something.
been developed in Nigeria, accepted by WHO. Going through the process currently may involve political event. Wow. So
Well,
that
yes, we will see. We will believe it when we actually see it.
I know we can do the
It,
same
it
in
has,
Nigeria.
it has to go through the same trials other vaccines went through for WHO to accept it. So I haven't really heard that. I mean, maybe they said that in Nigeria, but I mean, I know India developed one. WHO did not even accept their own, but they were giving it to their people. So if WHO accepts
That's
a
true.
vaccine from Nigeria, it should be a global announcement. I'm not
And
sure. No.
that's true. That's
Hopefully, I hope it's true. I'll be so proud.
me too. Any toy, doctor, the blood clot is not as it's being reported. The vaccine is okay. We're believing you, doctors. The blood
I
clot
mean,
is not.
she lives in the UK, and I agree. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it might just be one or two or three people that got the side effect, but generally, you know how there's been a lot of outbursts about this vaccination and crazy stuff going on. Yeah. But
Fantastic.
but they did acknowledge that they have some issues, and I think they will have the studies going. I think it was dosing errors, which is what they said. It was from the dosing, but we're still not clear where exactly. But I believe that most 90 something percent of people that got it did not have any problems and they got protected. Yeah, which is why they're still being used. If it was that bad or whatever, then they wouldn't be using it anymore.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Christie. I heard that the AstraZeneca, that they're going to send it to some less privileged countries because they think that the effect of them not having that vaccine, it will outweigh the them not having it. That they would rather give it to them because otherwise they will all die. But the question is, if you don't have any symptoms, if it's not even in your district, that's why do you have to take it?
So,
I'm
so, so, so let's go back to the other things that we take vaccines for. We take vaccines for tetanus, for measles, for polio, smallpox. That's how we were able to eradicate smallpox was for the vaccine, right? Um, Typhoid, name them, meningitis. That those are killer diseases. Measles, I mean, killed mumps, diphtheria. So many diseases. There's vaccines against. So when you have a child now, they're gonna get all these vaccines. Sometimes we give 7 vaccines in one day to a baby.
they give
And
it.
that is what saved their lives. Me, I got it as a child. Remember, before us, most people, we had a very high infant mortality rate. People just died. And people would say that They came to the world twice. They're Obanje and stupid stuff like that. But now with the vaccinations, polio, those things have become things of the past. And then we had an eruption in the northern Nigeria when they started refusing to get polio and stuff like that. We saw what happened. The uptick went up. And so now Nigeria has been cleared of polio recently because they started revaccinating. So vaccines are life-saving. I mean, in so many ways. They give children with, disabled kids, polio disabled people, and they made their legs one big, and if they survived it. So a lot of morbidity and mortality. Vaccines are really good things, are life-saving, that they just make you able to fight disease safely. Because so I would rather fight the disease in a controlled way than get the disease and not know how I'm going to end up, whether I'm going to live or die before I get immune to it. So a vaccine is a safe way to build immunity against a disease and not die while you're trying to do that, right? Or not get any morbidities. Like people that have had COVID-19, some people had to have double lung transplant. There was a 24-year-old guy that had double lung transplant and kidney transplant. If he lived in Africa, he'll be a dead man, right? But because he's here, he had those transplants and he's still talking. So, but that's a life-changing thing, to have a double lung transplant and a kidney transplant. You're going to have to deal with that for the rest of your life. A vaccine would have prevented that. One of the biggest things that vaccines prevent is the life-threatening effects of a disease. So you might still get flu after you get a flu vaccine, but it will be like getting a common cold.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who did not get a flu vaccine, the flu still kills about 20,000 people in the US every year, because they didn't get vaccines. So this is flu that has been around since the 1800s or whatever when it did. So we're going to live with the effects of COVID-19 I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's just going to end up becoming like the flu. And you take your vaccine, if they say every year, every 2 years or stuff like that. Young people with good immune system, they can get the flu and get well. But somebody who is older with diabetes, with COPD, asthma, and some comorbidities, they die. They die from flu. Every year in the US, at least 25,000 every year. So that's still been going on for centuries, right? So it's just that this pandemic happened just like the flu pandemic happened when it happened like centuries ago. So it's gonna, once we get vaccinated, we get a herd immunity, and it's gonna become like getting the flu because you have vaccinated, and you're not gonna end up in the hospital just because you get COVID-19 and stuff like that. So that's really the purpose of the vaccination.
I cannot thank you enough. And I knew that it's a matter of time we're all going to take it, because they might say no flight, no jab. We don't want
Yeah. Now you're starting to show your card to go to certain places. Yeah.
Exactly. So I know it's a matter of time. I guess what we're doing here is actually to get more reassured and to get more information from the people that actually have got the facts and are dealing with the facts. And that's what you're doing to us. And I know education is your thing. So thank you so much, Dr. Christy. Also, the more you learn, the more you realize how much you don't know. But they said that education consists mainly of those things that you unlearn. So whatever we've learned, that they told us that this is eradication, they want to reduce us, is for reduction. And it's for whatever we need to alleviate that fear and get fresh new education into our system, and know that the world is not against us. The universe is not out to single-handedly pick Timmy.
Well, it's doing it in some other ways that we don't even know. So, but like I tell people, one thing I know, the money, you have to follow the money, right? Nobody wants to spend more money than what they think you're worth to them to kill you. See what I mean? Yeah. When there are so many easy ways to kill, and we're already really being exposed to the easy ways to kill. Like they could put it in many other things that we eat with and breathe and drink and phones. We don't even worry about those things. Nobody's gonna go it costs so much to make vaccines, to put this money in vaccines just to kill people. You know, it doesn't. So there are some things that don't make common sense, and it's just you always with the capitalist economy. You can bet me if you follow the money, you understand it better. It's all about money for them, yeah. So it doesn't make sense to do that.
Dr. Christie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm more assured that now I can go out and take the vaccine. I've been fighting in my spirit. I know I want to take it. I'm like, don't force me to take it. Let me think about it. Let me take my time. Let me do this. And then, but I was a bit troubled that I've been stampede into taking what I don't want to take, or when I'm not ready to take, because information is really clear.
You have to be ready. Yeah, I talk to a lot of patients every day about this. So, and the ultimate question they ask is, have you taken yours? I'm like, yeah, I was one of the first to get it. Then my patient, okay, I'm going to go get it if you took it. I tell them I'm taking it, my husband is taking it, my kids are taking it. They'll be like, okay, I'll go get mine done. And then when they take it, they'll text me and say, I got it done. Okay, good.
The day I
yeah. So we take the sacrifice, the healthcare workers. I mean, I'm like, I'm not going to talk to somebody about something like I haven't tasted. I don't know what it feels like. Just like the machine I was telling you about, how am I going to convince somebody to get on it if I don't get on it? So before I buy anything in my office, I test it. Like I remember one time they wanted to sell me a laser machine, and the guy came when he gave me he did the first one. I jumped off the table. I literally cried, and I told him, "Don't come back here." He called like, "Don't come back to my office. I'm never gonna buy that because I can't do that to somebody else."
Wow.
Right? So that's just the same way it works. If we took it and we're still working, we're not zombies and stuff like that. I think it's safe.
We appreciate you. Please.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. There's just one more question I want to ask.
Question.
Go ahead, Liz.
Okay, let's not ask the question. Let me appreciate you. Thank you very, very much for being here. You are a real expert. You know, it's only an expert who can simplify such a complex subject matter and encourage people to be able to do what ideally you believe in, which is the right thing to do from your perspective. You have definitely made a difference in our understanding. I should say, you know, we say we cover topics, but this time around we rediscover. We rediscover from you what is the right thing to do. So this was a very informative session, and we really appreciate that you were able to share with us.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure. When I watch you guys seem to have so much fun on this program, and every time I've come, I have a lot of fun. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Dr. Christie. Thank you. I will bring you back on some matters that we know cut, your heart, that you love so much. We love you all the time. I appreciate you. But we're going to have to say goodbye for now. And thank you to your family for letting you go in the middle of the night. But, you're healing, not just in your clinic, you're healing the world.
Yeah.
You've healed a lot of people on the planet, on the platform now, even in the universe, because of the piece that you released to us. Like Liz said, something that seems very difficult. You just calm it down, and we feel like we should go out now and take it. We cannot.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody that is always been on this platform and watching us week in, week out. We do appreciate you. On Angina with Temi, we just want to say bye-bye for now, and we see you.
Y'all have a great week, okay? Thank you
so much. Bye.